Hey millionaires, it's C Payne here, CMO of GraphicDesignWars.com and Chief Evangelist of the Millionaire Marketing Blog. Want to come back to you guys and do a week one recap. So it's been 1 week since I started, doing the marketing for GraphicDesignWars.com, and I wanted to just bring you guys in and take you down this path with me. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I did this week for marketing, talk a little bit about the successes, the failures, and then give you a little bit of an outlook for the future. So let's jump right into it. So I did 3 things this week for marketing for my new website. So I launched the website 2 weeks ago. This week I made the big push to get my first customers. And I did 3 primary things. The first thing I did was I just set up Google Analytics, because that's so important for any website to essentially see what visitors are doing when they come to your website, to track the interactions that people are doing, what they're clicking on, how long they're staying, where they're leaving, where they're entering, and where they're coming from. So I set up some Google Analytics tracking. That's the first thing. The second thing I did was email. So I sent out an email blast to 1,500 people in my contact list. So I'm going to talk about that. I use MailChimp.com for that. And the third thing I did was I started posting in forums. So I found my target audience for my market, and I started doing some social networks, some Web 2.0 stuff. I started going in and posting to some forums, trying to be helpful for some of the other users. So let me show you what I did more specifically, and I'm going to share my screen. So the first thing I did this week, as I mentioned, is I set up tracking in Google Analytics. So I already had Google Analytics set up on the website. I've owned a few websites in the past, so I know the importance of Google Analytics. This is the first time, though, that I set up tracking so that I could see exactly what people were doing for specific goals of mine. So tracking is great because it helps you, by nature of the word, keep track of what's most important to your business. What are the desirable actions that people are taking that you want to see? So let me just walk you guys through it. So here's me logged in. Here's my website dashboard. I would do another, video on some other features of Google Analytics, but now let me just jump into the tracking. So you want to go to your admin here once you select the site, and then you want to go to goals, because again, all tracking is doing is saying, notify me and make a note that someone did exactly what I wanted them to do. So in my particular instance, I want to track every single time someone goes to my payment page. GraphicDesignWars.com is an e-commerce site, so I want to know when someone lands on the last page where they enter credit card information. The page after that, after they've paid, I get notifications with already through the website, but this I wanted to see how many people are making it all the way to the end, to the credit card page. So first thing I did is I go here. If you didn't have these set up, you just click on +1 goal, but since I've got it set up, I'm just going to click on here, War Payment Page. Gave it a name, select the URL destination. Again, I wanted to see people who landed on that final payment page. I put in the URL of that page I wanted to track. So again, it's the last payment page for me. Just do the extension. You don't have to put in the whole domain here. Just add it like it says here, at the / and the rest of the extension for the URL. And I did a match type of head match, because every person who travels or who clicks through my payment funnel, you could call it, gets a unique ID. So because every single person is going to have a different ID, there's no way to track if they're going to get to the last page. So I had to do what's called a head match here, which essentially just looks at certain portions of the URL, and if that portion matches, primarily the head portion of the URL matches, it doesn't matter if there are unique IDs on the end. So I selected the head match here. Then I set up a funnel. So funnels are great because it shows you can track what steps people took. So I know in my instance there are 5 separate web pages on my site before you get to the payment page. So this is a funnel for all of those pages. So I can see if everybody who came in on step 1, how many people left on step 2, how many people went to step 3, step 4, so on and so forth. It's really simple and it's really easy. I encourage you guys to go in and set this up. Again, if you have an e-commerce site, you want to track how many people are making it to your payment page. You may want to also do a funnel if there's a specific way you want them to get there or expect them to get there. If you have a website that's not e-commerce where you're not selling something, maybe you want to track how many people are signing up to a newsletter, or how many people are going to the page to sign up for a newsletter, or how many people are landing on your contact page. All of those things can be tracked using the tracking function within Google Analytics. So I hope that was clear. Once you're done, just click save. You can come over here, go back to standard reporting, and go down here to conversions on the left hand side and go to goals. You can see I'll go to overview, and you can see War Payment Page had 1 goal completion in the last couple of days. If I did it for the whole week, it would look like this. So 2 people of the how much total traffic did I have to the site? I had 75 visits in this week, and of those 75, 2 people made it to that payment page. They didn't convert, so that's another issue, but that's for another conversation. So that's tracking in Google Analytics. Let's move on to what I did in email. So next we have MailChimp. If you guys aren't using an email marketing tool or email marketing application, I recommend MailChimp because it's free. You may also want to look at Aweber. I use that too. This is a different video. And Infusionsoft, which I'm thinking about using because I've heard really good things about it. So I'm logged into MailChimp here. I want to show you 2 things. First, I want to show you the template that I created for my mail that went out to 1,500 people, because there's mixed opinions on what type of emails to send out. Some people swear by using plain text emails. Those are emails with no colors, no pictures, no links, just nothing but text. And other people like to fancy it up. They want something that's going to catch your attention. I do both, so the user on the receiving end can choose if they want plain text or something in an HTML format. Now, for my HTML format, let me just show you. I chose the mobile version of the template because smartphones are so prevalent. People are opening these things up on the go. So, I just decided for all my emails I send out, I'm going to make sure that they're mobile ready. They're not going to be too big to be seen across a mobile browser or a smartphone. So this is what I did. Here's the first one. Again, graphicdesignwars.com is a graphic design service primarily for entrepreneurs, startups, and businesses. So I just sent out a message saying, hey, need a logo. Here are the reasons why you should go with us as a company. Here's a testimonial. Gosh, I can spend a whole 2 or 3 videos on the importance of testimonials. I showed an example of a logo we've done in the past, and I sent it out to 1,500 people. So let me show you guys what my success was there. So I'm going to go to campaigns and just look at logo design doble, which is the campaign. Oops, let me go back. Oh, campaign reports. Here we go. And as you can see, it went out to 1,447 recipients, 266 opens, or about 18%, and 15 clicks. That's pretty low. I would like to get a higher click-through rate there, but there's some things we're going to play around with A/B testing to see what's the best time of day, what are the best headlines, what are the best colors, those things. So MailChimp has actually a really good tutorial or section on their help site for doing split testing to see what's most optimal. So I got clicks, and if we were to go back to analytics, you'll see that the email that I sent out was sent the second most amount of users to my website for the week. So I'm going to talk a little bit in my recap about what I thought about that. So let's move on to the last thing, forum posting. So I heard from Jermaine Griggs, who is the CEO of a multi-million-dollar super successful startup called Hear and Play. Teaches people how to play by ear for things like the piano, things like the violin, so forth and so on. I was watching his interview on Mixergy.com, and he talked a lot about finding success in the early days by going into forums and helping people out, going to where your target market is and starting conversations and talking. So that's what I did. Graphicdesignwars.com, as I mentioned, is for entrepreneurs, it's for businesses. So I decided, let me focus on one forum and just go in and help as many people as possible and see if that leads to any traffic. I didn't want to diversify and go to different forums. I want to just go to one big forum. Startup Nation here is a big forum, and just see if I have some success. So I went in and just started answering people's questions. I wasn't spammy. I wasn't trying to market my service. I was just trying to offer really helpful advice. So I'll just show you one of my posts. So this one's top ways to make your business plan outstanding. And here's just a comment that I left here. The quick and short about a business plan is as follows. 1, spend 95% of your time on your marketing strategy and financials, so forth and so on. So this is me trying to give my honest opinion and helpful feedback to this person who has a legitimate question. And where I'm going to get my traffic and where I'm going to reap the benefits is in my signature here. I'll do a separate video on just how to create an email signature. Create a forum signature, because most forums give you the ability to do it, and you want to make sure you have your links in there. You want to make sure it tells people exactly what you do, so that when you give good comments about something that's probably unrelated to your business, people will say, hey, that was a good comment. I wonder who this person is. They'll look at your signature and hopefully they'll click and go to your website. So that is the 3 things that I did this week. Now let's move into the recap. Okay, so in summary for week 1, I'll be honest, I'm pretty disappointed. I set a goal for myself. When I first launched the website about 2 weeks ago, I wanted to get 5 customers for the month of May. And it's May 26th. I don't have a customer. So all the marketing that I did this week didn't lead to 1 customer, let alone 5. So to recap what I did, email was, I think, effective. I didn't have the high click-through rate, but I did get good feedback from the people who read it. Lots of my friends and the people in my list, former colleagues, contacted me interested in supporting the new business, the graphicdesignwars.com. So that was great. I'm definitely going to continue to do that on a weekly basis. The Google Analytics tracking code was also really good. It makes it really quick and easy for me to see what matters most. And that's what are people doing? Are people doing what I need them to do, which is go to the end of the payment process and enter their credit card information. So I'm glad I did that. As for the forums, like I said, this was advice that I heard from another successful entrepreneur. I posted about 40 different times in startupnation.com, which is my target demographic, and not one person saw my signature and decided to click and come to the website. So Google Analytics isn't showing anybody who traveled from that site where I posted to my site. So maybe I need to do more posting or find a different forum, but I'm a little disappointed in that. Overall, though, I'm happy to be marketing for the business. I think that it's going to work out. I just have to work 3 times harder, grind. So, again, my name is C. Payne, CMO of graphicdesignwars.com and Chief Evangelist of the Millionaire Marketing Blog. See you guys next week.